Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michael Bryan. I'm with Revival of Truth Ministries. I'm here to share with you another testimony of God's faithfulness and healing. A few years back, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C. I was diagnosed with having cirrhosis of the liver at the 4th stage, which would mean that I did not have that long to live. I had that problem because of the cancers and other situations and circumstances and sicknesses that I had in this body. And so the liver was beginning to give out, and it was in pretty rough shape. After visiting doctors and seeing all the tests and so on that we did and so forth, they put me on a program. The program was to take chemotherapy, Vectrellis, and ribavirin every day. It equaled a lot of pills over a long period of time. They said I would have to do this for 48 weeks, and then still it's not a positive situation or chance that I would be totally healed. But God had a purpose, and as I began to take that medication after 3 or 4 months though, I became deathly ill, and I ended up in the hospital. And while in the hospital, I was in there because I was dehydrated. I had to be taken out of my home. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. I had to be taken out by ambulance as I went there. They admitted me, and after about 8 or 10 days being in the hospital the first time, they did send me home because they had got me somewhat stabilized. Within a few days after that, though, I ended up back in the hospital, not expected to live. While I was in the hospital room, because of some of the circumstances and problems that it caused for the organs in my body, my liver was full of poison and leaking and separating, and other organs were separating because of the poisonous drugs that I was taking, the ribavirin, the Victrolis, and the chemotherapy. And so after a number of months, I became so confused and so sick and so wondering at times even where I was, and I couldn't eat and so on and so forth, that I ended up in the second time in the hospital. While I was in the hospital, my doctor, he came in late at night. There was no nurses or other doctors with him. I was alone in my room in my bed, so there was just him and I. And it was late at night, and I was laying there, and I was just praying to the Lord, wondering what it was all about, because I had been sick for many years, actually 12 years off and on, including a couple of cancers and other things as well. But now this hepatitis C, it was really, really difficult going through, and the poisons in my body was really taking its toll. Well, the doctor came in that night, and he said, I am sorry, and I am mad at myself. And I said, well, doctor, why are you mad at yourself? He said, because the medication that I have been giving you has been killing you. Virtually what he was saying to me was that you probably may not live the night. You're about to die. And he was apologizing while I was still alive. But something happened in me. It was like the penny dropped. I says, Father, your word says that by the stripes of Jesus I am healed. And I have been healed before, so I take my healing. And so the doctor left. But I didn't get out of bed the next day, but the day after, I jumped out of bed, stopped all medication, and I went home. I went home and started recuperating. It didn't take too long before I was fully recuperated. But I was dizzy, I was confused, and loss of weight and no strength and so on. But I tell you, Jesus was with me. And if you would hang on to his word, if you would look to him and focus your eyes on him, focus your mind on him, he will take you through, because Jesus Christ died and he paid the price for us no matter what the sickness is. Even this hepatitis C at the 4th level, even though they said I'd be very sick and I would die soon, Jesus had another purpose for me. And I became totally healed. And today I'm traveling around, I'm doing things, I'm going to places, I'm staying up late, keeping late hours maybe, which I shouldn't, but I am, because I know that the time is short, and I know that Jesus Christ heals, and I want to tell everybody that I meet that Jesus Christ heals, and that we need to look to him for healing. It's the doctors are great, and they'll do what they can, and they have the facts. They're not out to hurt us, for the most part at least, but they don't have the total truth. The Lord made this body, he can remake it. And if you're out there and you're having problems with pain or sickness and you're wondering why, let me tell you something. Take the time, take a few scriptures. Maybe if it's a sickness, take 2 or 3 scriptures pertaining to sickness and keep confessing them and going over them and going over them and going over them. You might say, well, I don't have the time to do that. It doesn't matter about the time. It's the purpose and it's the position of your heart, and God will help you. And so take the scriptures. In fact, here's one here. Romans 8 and 11 is one that I used to use. If the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwell in you, he that raised Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal body. Your mortal body was created by God. He can recreate it. He will heal you. And if there's someone you know, a loved one or someone, he will heal them as well. So keep your eyes on the Lord and remember Jesus Christ is Lord. In terms of more information on this sickness or other testimonies or other messages that I do have, I invite you to go on to my website, which is www.rotm.ca. And so you can go on there and download and listen or read the books that are on there free of charge. Now, if you want to purchase a book that we already have printed in hardcover and we have a few languages there already, that's fine, that's different. Follow the instructions. But in any case, Jesus Christ is Lord. He can heal you. He does heal you. And he wants you healed because he wants you to tell other people about him to the glory of God the Father. And the devil's a liar. He'll tell you you're sick. He'll tell you you're going to die. He'll make your mind wander and be full of fears. But you have not been given the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Bless you and have a good day.